Hello, hello, and welcome to another Marriage Monday. I am Christian Rose. This is my wife,
Jackie Rose.
and we're excited to have some of our favorite people in the world, the Gladdens. Been knowing them for years. And we're going to talk marriage, of course, because that's the nature of the beast on Monday.
Yeah.
I am going to allow or pass it over to my wife to pray, and then we're going to hop right in. I'm not going to waste any time.
Amen. Lord God, we're so grateful for this night, Lord God. We're thankful for
Thank you.
marriage, Lord Jesus, and just this opportunity, Lord, to talk to Kenny and Marissa about marriage, Lord. Lord God, I pray that you would guide our conversation. I pray that it would be a blessing to someone who is going through in their marriage, who is considering marriage, Lord Jesus. I just pray that it would be a blessing and that we would represent your covenant well. In Christ's name, we thank you and we pray. Amen.
Amen.
That was beautiful, Jackie.
Oh, thank you.
So look, I've been knowing the male in this in this marriage, or the husband figure, Kenny Gladden, for it's got to be what, 20 years now, Ken?
Yeah, when I had hair, all my hair, yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
we need pictures. Yeah, we need some throwbacks.
Right.
Oh, no.
He said no. So yeah, I've been knowing Ken for 20 years. Just a wonderful, wonderful friend down through the years. It's solid. You can always count on him for like so much. Loves the Lord, just funny, just all of that. And also been there through his relationship with his wife, Misa, we call her affectionately. For a lot of that time. They're married now. And I wanted to bring them on the show because I felt like they had a very, very fascinating story, and I thought that it would help, other couples that watch our show on Mondays. And so just want to welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming. And we'll just start off how we start most of these conversations. Tell us how you guys met.
All right. Well, we met my family, I have my God family. You know how Black people are. It's like you got your God sisters, your God brothers, and other people like, what is that? My godmother's godson is my god brother, and he went to high school with Kenny. So we would do these family trips to like a theme. Our parents, our moms would take us to like a theme park every summer. So one year, Kenny went and I didn't go for whatever reason. I don't even know why. And then the next year, they took us they built back to Dorney Park, and that's how we met.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right.
Okay. How old were you guys?
Oh my God.
19.
19.
Wow.
Going on 20. And we bonded because we like theme parks, but we don't like roller coasters. So everyone, I forgot the name of the roller coaster, but it's like it's like the cyclone version of whatever they have in Donnie Park. Nobody should get on it. Like an old rickety roller coaster with these big hills. So it was no one in the park that day. So everybody kept getting on the roller coaster over and over and over again. And we were like, we're not getting on that thing. So we sat for like an hour, just us, just watching everybody's bags. While everybody went on the roller coaster over and over again. So that's how we kind of bonded.
Oh wow, that's really cool, right?
That's so sweet.
Can you imagine? What a setup! Like they're in their 19, looking good.
No, my godmother. The other day, my godmother sent us a picture of that weekend, and when I tell you we have come a long way, we look like, I don't even know. We look like we just got out of, like, we look so beat up. Like we look rough. And I was trying to figure out.
Y'all said we're going to have fun. It's not about looks.
We're going to have fun. My hair's a mess. Kenny got on a do. I should send it to you so you can put it on. Kenny has a do. We look awful. But yeah, so that was how we kind of bonded on that trip.
That's so cool that y'all have a picture of the first time you met each other. Like, I feel like a lot of couples probably don't have that. So that's really cool.
Yeah, well, we still got. I don't know where that picture came from, but we got.
Yeah.
You know, with technology these days, they can make anything. So I'm doing some research. I'm like, I don't remember that do rag. I'm like, we got to lawyer up for that one.
So
Some AI technology.
So yeah, there's a little AI there going on.
all right, so you guys at the theme park, you guys hit it off, and so like when you guys make it official, why did you like talk about that?
It was years later.
Nice.
Oh wow.
It was a while later. It was so, not to bring up 9/11, but it was 9/11. So it was months go by or a year go by, or however long, I have no idea now. He sends me an email just asking me how I was after 9/11. And that's how we kind of like reconnected.
And that probably is from Hotmail. You know, Hotmail.
Man. Oh man. Wow.
So what made you reach out to her?
Huh?
What made you reach out to her, Kenny?
I mean, we really just, I clicked when I mean, just sitting on that bench. That's funny. I forgot about that. We just sitting on that bench for like an hour or 2 hours. It sounded like I feel like it was an eternity because they just kept going.
They just kept going back and
until
forth.
the park closed, literally.
Yeah.
So and then we had some things, things in common. Both creative people, both had some sense. We're like, oh, okay, you're not crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it wasn't, it was everything, is in timing because it wasn't like an instant, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's get together. I had to do a little chase in the court, and I guess you want to, call it
naturally.
Yeah, naturally, But then the thing was, I went to school, so I was away. So she went to school in Fordham, and I went to school upstate. So I would, strategically hit up, you know what I'm saying?
He kept himself top of mind.
Even and I would call my, my guard like, how Misha's doing? She all right? Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's before drones. Y'all young kids will know about that. You had to, you had to do telephone. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you gonna see her next week at the barbecue? All right, yo, you get pen and paper. Let me know. So that being consistent. We had no, it was a funny story. I was working at an elementary school. I don't know why they let me do that, but
wow,
bad behind kids, and so I just had got a new cell phone, right? So, I think she was calling me. I was in the lunchroom, and I look at the kids, and the kids like, "What's wrong, Mr. G?" I'm like, "Yo, she's calling me." I'm like, "Yeah, Mr. G, yeah, she calling." I'm like, "Yo," so I must have went in the bathroom or something real quick. And I'm like, I could have got fired because I'm supposed to be watching this. You know what I'm saying? This is all coming back. Right? I didn't even think about that. So, they was all happy. What she say? You know what I'm saying? So I'm bonding with all these little, 4th grade, 5th grade kids, So I was like, yo, I said, yo, I'm about to take a trip back home, So they said, all right, yo, good luck, you know what I'm saying? So,
dapping you up.
My cheerleaders.
Yeah,
hype team. So, we finally went on our first date, and but I don't know, maybe did I have braids? I might have braids.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Maybe I had goatee. I don't know. All I know is she brought her nephew on there as a chaperone to the date.
Not as a chaperone. I had to babysit my nephew.
Yeah, I didn't want to babysit.
So it was, in hindsight, it was like not a bad, it was a bad thing to do, but in the moment it was like I didn't want to break the date. I had to babysit my nephew.
Maybe it was,
and he's and then my nephew is a big kid. Like, he was
like Mike Tyson.
So it was like I was bringing
a grown man on your date.
I'm like, you still want to go out? Oh, no, it's my nephew. All right.
And he's not that much younger than me. My nephew was only about 5-6 years younger than me, but I was baby, like he was, I don't even know, but and he's big. So I think at the
So
time
you're
he was
walking
high
up to
school, but
Kenny
he
with a
looks
man.
like he's in
Right.
college. He's
Right.
like
But the
a
moral
dude.
of the story is, I mean, I was saving my money, you know what I'm saying? But the moral of the story is I wasn't budgeting for a 15-year-old man and a 35-year-old man to eat. Right? I wasn't budgeting that. You young, it's tough, you know what I'm saying?
God.
I was like, yeah, hold on, so all for the young people is before Cash App. I don't think you could overdraft your account back then. You know what I'm saying? So this was rough. Cash and carry. That's it. I had no debit card.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Mr. shows up to your date with the
He was a trooper.
with the grown man.
That was the thing. Would you say, Christian? Sorry.
And then so Misa shows up to your date with a grown man.
Like Bebe's kids.
I mean, my nephew Jaquan is he's 6'3" or 6'2", but at the time he was about Kenny's height.
And oh my God,
twice his size. It was very funny.
I was like, either that or she must be a singer. That's her bodyguard. I just didn't know. I'm like, somebody need to tell me something. Somebody need to tell me something. Like, I don't know what's happening.
And look at now,
That's
my
wild.
nephew always has good memories of Kenny. Right? Like he actually told me for Christmas, he was like, the best gift I ever got was you and Kenny got me an iPad. And anytime we talk, he has like the best memories because he lived with us for a little bit too. And he was like our roommate for a while. So they had the best bond, and he worked with him, and so they go, so intertwined now. So and what I was afraid, he didn't trip. Kenny didn't trip. He was just kind of like,
and he ate good. And
he ate good.
Remember that.
And I remember the day. I think we went to Chevy's.
Yeah, Chevy's.
We went to Chevy's. Oh, the old is Chevy still on 42nd Street? I don't even know, but Chevy's.
I wonder if it is. I feel like I remember what you're talking about though.
Yeah, the big Mexican restaurant.
I'm still paying on that bill.
He said I need 4 chicken quesadillas.
That's not commitment. I don't know what it is.
Oh my God. So the date, so after the date, the first date, so did it build on from there after the first date? You guys, I guess it went well.
Yeah. Because I still was living upstate, but every weekend I would start working for this moving company, right? And so now I was like, oh man, I'm making okay. You're 20 years old, you're getting a nice pay, a consistent paycheck. I'm just like, oh, okay, this is perfect timing for me. So now, I was every weekend I was just consistently, I would go down, go, spend time and then come back up, go back to work, So yeah.
And he was very consistent.
And now we here, she ain't leave yet. So I guess I did something right.
All right. So tell me how like what, well, what in Misa, what in Kenny specifically did you guys see to say like, this is someone I think I could spend the rest of my life with? I know, Kenny, you said she looked like she had some sense. but I'm sure there was more than that. But tell me like what were the qualities you saw in each other and you said, man, you know what? I think I'm ready to plant my flag, whatever you want to call it. This is it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, definitely, it's funny, like you have, sometimes you think you know what you want, but you don't know what you want until like comes across your path.
Yeah.
Everybody has like this whole list in their head. Most people, I don't know, this person, the perfect person for me is A, B, C, D, right? And but to me, it's like you don't know, right? Like we all come, you come across people's paths for a reason, right? Everybody, some for a season, some for a lifetime, blah, 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 right? And when she, when I, she started speaking, I met, man, I was just like, oh shoot, this was I was looking for. And I, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't, what I'm saying? I didn't know it, and then the more and more, I got, I got to know her. It was like she was making me a better person, you know what I mean? Showing me different outlooks, and it wasn't just a thing of like, wanting to be with somebody for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? Because people have all these other superficial things. They want to be with somebody, and I was just like, oh wow, like I, what I'm saying? I would want to be, what I'm saying? I want to be with her, this woman, and I never felt, anyway, I never felt about that about any woman before, so, and I don't know, if that's if you want, qualities, but I mean, obviously, she was smart, she traveled a lot, things I was like, oh shoot, okay. Yeah, that's what and like I said, also, creative, really, giving, you know what I'm saying? Funny, So and like I said, all these things had just like, and I, when I got older, I just sometimes I be joking, I'm like, man, I said, sometimes I just think back and I said a lot of things like if you changed my outlook about a lot of things, and really built, I'm a totally different person. I'm like, if it was a different situation, I'd be a totally different person, So I'm like, you really help build me up, you know what I'm saying, as a person, even if know it or not. So, but I had like the little list like before, but it's just like it was easy, right? It wasn't hard, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like and of course, listen, I'm not saying everything is roses. We argue, crazy 20 years, but but it was a thing. It was just like, okay, we get into an argument, but I wasn't. I was like, but I can't. She cannot not be in my life. You understand? Like, people can walk away and like, I'm going to the next, right?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, she could not. She has to be in my life. You know what I'm saying? There was never like, oh, even if she like, oh, you sound like you done, but but we will never miss a phone call. You know what I'm saying? Right, like every day. So I'm just like, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm babbling, but
no,
yeah,
but it was just a thing of like a puzzle. You know what I'm saying? And I can't, you can't. So certain things to me, like certain things you can't put in words, right? When you know, and it wasn't superficial. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't superficial. It felt natural.
I don't know if you guys are hearing. Are you hearing that thumping sound?
No.
Okay, because I think my daughter's doing construction upstairs. I don't know what is going on right now.
I don't know what.
I don't know what is happening.
Heavy. I don't
You
know.
I don't hear it.
As long as y'all don't hear it.
I just know when this stream is done.
You should go upstairs at Taj Mahal.
There's gonna be an interrogation. I'm gonna be like, what was that? No, anyway. You were gonna say
architect of the family.
You know what I'm saying? What were you gonna say, Misa?
Oh no, I was gonna say for me it was very natural. Like I remember when we moved in together. I'm from Harlem, but I moved to Queens like in junior high school. And so I had my own apartment for a very long time because we had a 3-family house, whatever. So he was around more. And then my mom was like, does he live here? And I was like, yeah, he lives here. It just it felt very natural. I feel like he was very supportive in a lot of ways. And like you said, you in your head, you have like the list or whatever you think you want, but it's not really what you need. And it's not it's not what fits you. You don't know what fits you until you really are with someone who you connect with, you're supportive of their endeavors, they're supportive of your endeavors, they're supportive of your quirks, you're supportive of their quirks, or try to understand you as a person. And then for me with Kenny, it was just very much like before him, it was like like it was like oh, you don't want to call me uncle? All right, that's fine. Like it was just like you didn't. There was no loss. It was just like whatever. I'm not into you anyway. But with him, it was just like this. Like this connection. Like this person is meant to be in my life. This person is meant to lift me up. This person's meant to support me. And the way he said I changed him, he changed me in a lot of ways too. Like I, became an entrepreneur because he was always like, just do it. Right.
Mhm.
There was never like, oh no, we need to do this. So you can't do this. If you have a good job, we have we, it was always like, we're gonna be all right. Do what you want to do. And it was always just supportive love, and it just felt like a natural fit. And when we made it official again, we were at my godbrother's house. And my godbrother is like the pinnacle of our story. We were at his house, and he was like, I want you to be my girlfriend. And I thought that was just like the sweetest. He probably doesn't remember. Like, we were sitting in his room, and my godbrother's a DJ. He's in the other room. He's like practicing his DJing, whatever. And he was just like, I want you to be my girl. And I just thought it was like the sweetest thing, right? Like, and it just felt right and natural, and and now here we are.
You got exposed, Kenny. You got exposed under that tough exterior. Sweet things. but it's teddy bear. But I found it to be true in our friendship as well. You know what I mean? Like one quality that I think about with Kenny is that, like, you're not gonna get over it on him. You're not going whatever, but at the same time, like if you're in his close circle, right, he's going to be very kind to you, very friendly, very hospitable, very sweet at times, and a caring person. So,
and give you the tough love when you need it, though.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's not a pushover. It's like,
he's not exactly
read you when you need to be read. So
right.
which
Exactly. Wow. So, all right. So we were just talking before the video, and I'm asking a lot of questions.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. So
probably because you know him personally.
Right.
So
Exactly. So
and you know us, yeah.
But one thing I didn't know, and you guys shared before the stream, was that Kenny is from Brooklyn. My wife is from Brooklyn.
BK all day.
Is from Harlem.
Yes.
Harlem, where the sun does not stop shining. Harlem, where
that is a puzzle. Like,
what street are you from, Christian?
I'm from. So I'm from. I spent most of my childhood, 111th between 7th and 8th on the west side.
Oh my gosh. That's not really hard. Okay.
No.
I'm kidding. Like
for the first 10 years of the first 12
it's
years
Hamilton
of my life,
Heights, but okay.
I was up at 155th Edgecombe Avenue. Uptown. So
Harlem is like 5 blocks.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Brooklyn is the whole borough. I'm just saying.
We had whole crackheads on my block, so
that was
definitely Harlem, right? In the 90s, like, you know what I'm saying. But what part of Harlem were you from, Reese?
So I grew up in West Harlem, but then we moved. I lived in the Bronx for like a year, which we won't talk about, and then and I call it my ancestral home in Queens, where like my family, bought a home like way back in the days, and then my mom moved us out to Queens. So I would say a half and half. I'm not a Queens girl, though. I still don't know how to get around Queens. Like, I was basically like, when we moved to Queens, my life was commuting from Queens to the city, right? So it's like, Queens is where I rested my head. I did absolutely nothing in Queens, but go to the movies at Green Acres Mall, maybe hang out with my friend down the block, but that was it. Always a city girl. But when he moved out to Queens, and then I was like, we should move to Brooklyn. You would think my poor mother, who's grew up in Harlem and Queens, you would have thought we were moving to Antarctica, Iraq. Like, it was just like, why are you moving to Brooklyn? I just don't understand. You have an apartment here. Just stay here. So shell-shocked, but I felt comfortable moving to Brooklyn because he was from Brooklyn. So, and I knew nothing. When we moved to Brooklyn, I knew nothing about Brooklyn. I had barely stepped foot in Brooklyn. before then. Like maybe I could count on my hands how many times I've been to Brooklyn, and now I can't imagine, living anyplace else.
That's right.
Yes. And that's what I was waiting for. I was
Come
like,
on, Lisa, what are you saying? What are you
I
talking
Brooklyn is an
mean,
amazing place.
Brooklyn is fun. It's like so many things to do in
Diversity.
Brooklyn.
Christian,
it really is.
Christian,
Sorry, Christian, but it is. I love this.
Listen, Chris, I was at Sylvia's last week. Don't worry about it, bro.
about?
All right, I ain't forget about Harlem.
No, Brooklyn. I spent a lot of my 20s, right, in that age range in Brooklyn. I was at churches singing, choir stuff, you know what I'm saying, and going to pick her up and do stuff. Yeah. So Brooklyn, it has a nice place in my heart as well. But to say you couldn't imagine living in that's that.
No, I couldn't. I really couldn't. I couldn't. Oh my God, Harlem people, please forgive me, but I couldn't imagine living in Harlem. I couldn't.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, the park across the street. I mean, not that there's no parks in Harlem. There are, but
yeah. What you like? We have.
I mean, it's a different kind of chaos. Like, Brooklyn is chaos too, but it's a different kind of chaos. So
yeah, but Brooklyn is much bigger than it's a whole borough, and Harlem's a small place. There's way more things to do in Brooklyn just because it's bigger. It's different neighborhoods. I get it.
This is nice to hear you say. I love this. Go on.
Harlem is where the sun does not stop shining, though. Harlem is where the sun shines. The Harlem Renaissance.
Okay, all right.
All right, I think we need to move on.
Yes.
So how long have you guys been married?
It'll be 5 years. This September.
5 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So we were together for a long time, but we were married for 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you guys, because this is something that you kind of talked about a little bit, but how do you navigate through, how have you navigated through like the different seasons in your life and gone through conflict? Because you guys have been together for a long time. So that means you're growing up together. And I'm not the same person I was when I was 18.
No.
So, how did you guys navigate through that whole thing together?
You're not only you're not the same person, but when you're committed to each other for that long, you're shaping each other too.
Wow.
So like he shaped me in a lot of ways, and I'm sure I've shaped him in a lot of ways. And I think the key is the commitment part, right? Like, just as long as we're good to each other at our core, we can get through disagreements and arguments. And I would say growing up, if you knew us in our 20s, we argued a ton, but we were committed to working through it and kind of coming out on the other end of it so that you mature with each other too, right? Like, and I think because of my commitment to him, if it was like, if I was arguing, like I said, if I was arguing with somebody else, I'd be like, peace. I don't have to see you ever again. Right. You don't exist. But with him, it was just like, I couldn't picture him not in my life or having a future with him. So it was something that we were committed to,
I think that's, go ahead, kid.
Sorry.
I
think, that makes you strong because you hear so many situations where people just check out, right? They don't go. They think, I don't know if they, their expectations think like, oh, everything's supposed to go my way, everything's supposed to go her way, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I'm not going to change for you, I'm not going to, work through it. I think a lot of people they don't want to work through it. They don't want to commit, right? They don't want to, and that's life, right? That's with anything, you know what I'm saying? Every day is like, it's weird when people talk about marriage. It's funny enough when I was like, man, I know it's been a minute, but I'm doing it, right? So all the older guys that I know, right? Here they go. You sure? I'm like, huh? Because most of them they've been like divorced twice already. You know what I'm saying? They had kids, right?
Yeah.
One kid, and but a lot of people when we said we get married, it was always a negative condensate, to it, like a negative tone to it, like it's a ball and chain, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it kind of bothered me, you know what I mean? 'Cause I'm like, well, if you say you want to marry someone, don't you should like them? I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But true, I mean, COVID proved a lot, a
That's
lot
true.
of divorce rate shot up because people were home with each other and was like, oh, I really don't like you, and I can't even go nowhere.
Yeah. To get
By
away.
law, I can't
Yes.
even leave right now because the police might lock me up. You know what I'm saying? And they just like, well, when this dies down, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And I it's crazy. Like, we had nothing but time. And I used to hear these interviews on like online, these different platforms. Like this one guy was like, yeah, wife, kids, everything, right? On paper, it looks like a perfect life. Like he was like, yeah, I kind of found out that my kids are annoying and I really don't like my wife. I'm like, yo, wow. You know what I'm saying?
That's rough.
Yeah, because he, with his job, he was out what?
Right.
He had an excuse to be out all the time, right? So so when he'll come home, it's just like, hey, all right, daddy going back out to work again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he probably spend what, a couple hours a day, if that, with his family. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of messed with me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, man, like, what was the real reason then? You know what I'm saying? Was it security? Right? Was it, who know, right? Was it your family pressuring you? Was it something, something superficial? Was it all three, amongst other, other things? Was it just like, well, I'm getting to a certain age, all right, I'm gonna choose you. You know what I'm saying? Was it mind games? Was it money? Like, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on, but life, I mean, God got like a real good sense of humor to how to, it's rough, it's rough, but just to kind of expose things. And because I was just like, you should be jumping up for joy. I'm not saying every day is going to be right, but I'm like, yo, we this is like a vacation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like things are happening.
Exactly.
I caught COVID like 14, 15 times.
COVID,
You know
which
what
is
I'm
a whole different
saying? So I'm not,
thing. It was very,
I'm not here.
It was scary.
Yeah,
it was very scary.
I'm not here talking about like, yeah, COVID, but everything happens for a reason, right? And when I was just like, wouldn't you want to be
it was a
family?
reset for all of us in a lot of ways.
Yeah, a reset, definitely.
This point about liking you as a person, not your salary, not your job, not your status or whatever it is, because those things change, right?
Yeah.
Like in the years that we've been together, I probably had 10 jobs. We're business owners now, but our salary changes from year to year. Like our situation changes. We have highs and lows and all those kind of things. And it's like, are you married to that, or are you married to me as a person? And if you're married to me as a person, when I decide, well, this is my new chapter, this is what I want to do professionally now, it's like, yeah, I support you, not, oh, I was tied to you because of X, or because you were making X, or you were doing X and you had access to whatever, so it's because those things change, and I think that's the important part, that you like the person and not the things around the person. Like, some of my oldest friends are friends from like junior high school and stuff, and it doesn't matter what they do for work, because they're my friend, and he's my husband because he's Kenny, not because he owns this now or he's doing this now or whatever, because it changes, and change as a person, you grow as a person, and you may decide to do something else or be something else now. And I think that was what the most grateful thing I am in our relationship, is that it has allowed me, without pressure or guilt, to reinvent myself so many times without being like, oh, well, now I don't have this corporate job. My partner is going to be upset because, we may not have health insurance for a little while, or, I'm figuring this out, and being an entrepreneur, he's putting like expectations, and vice versa. I'm putting expectations on him that, well, no, you got to do this, or you have to hold it. We're in a partnership and we're doing things together, and it's fluid, and and we grow in with the ebbs and flows of how we're moving through life. If that makes any sense.
No, it's
no,
that's
good.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that before on another episode. We talked about supporting your spouse, right? And understanding that God put them here for a reason. Their gifts, their talents, their abilities. As a partner with that person, you should want them to become everything God created them to be, right? And sometimes that finding out what God has you placed here to do and stuff like that can be difficult, right? It can be a place where you don't feel as secure, or you don't know everything that's going to result in a change or a decision or trying something, right? But I love what you guys said about being committed, right? That is so important, right? And I think that's the beauty of marriage, right? Because when you say, hey, look, before the state, before God, before your family, I'm committed to this person, I'm not going anywhere. And to dissolve that, comes with all kinds of complications. When you take that step, it really does help you to kind of ride it out through hard times, and it makes you go at it again from another angle, right? You talk about it or whatever, and maybe the way you communicate is just not working. You have to try a different way to communicate, right? Maybe we don't
And you
talk
have
right.
to be, not to cut you off, but you both have
Yeah.
to be willing to make those changes too. Like, I'm not,
Yes.
making the message of, stick it out no matter what, we're
Gotcha.
not there. That's not what we're saying. We're saying the commitment that we're communicating together and we're on the same page together. It's not one-sided where it's like, I'm supporting everything you want to do, but you're not supporting anything I want to do. Or, you said, oh, well, let's communicate like this or change. And then, but you're not changing, that kind of thing.
Right.
So
No.
Definitely not advocating for, like, it has to be a partnership. It really is commitment and a partnership. And just really, like, I love him, but I also like him, right? Like,
Right.
like we hang out, like, like we like I'm like,
friends.
oh, I like to, hang out. It's not like like we're friends.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. No, that's it. Like I like you too, I think. Maybe a little bit. No, I like Jackie a lot. It's funny because Kenny, you talked about the
Right?
She's all right. No. We during the pandemic, I think the same thing happened to us. At the time, I was teaching 5th and 6th grade math, and we went completely online. So I was working, but I was working from home. Jackie, she worked in the hospitality field, and she couldn't go into work because
was hit hard.
So she stayed home, and I think from spending more time together, it was like, oh, I don't want to do anything different now. Like, I need to find me a job where I can work from home. You know what I'm saying? Like it made me want. Yeah. It made me want to spend more time with her. Because I do actually really, really like her. Like, she like a lot. But and my girls, and the kids, and just being around them. So it is important. It seems like basic, but you should like your spouse, right?
Yeah,
that's important.
So you should.
I think you brought up a good point too, Kenny. Like with both of you, when you were talking about the qualities that attracted you to each other, it wasn't superficial. It's the kind of stuff that's kind of lasting. Like,
no, I mean, there's superficial things going on,
but for
the
but even some of those superficial things can change. You know what I'm saying?
Changes, right.
So it's obviously you want to be attracted to your spouse, but at the same time, it's like that is going to change. So hopefully there's other things like that you appreciate about them, like whether it's that they make you laugh or they're caring. Even you bringing your nephew. It was your nephew, right? Or was it your godson on the first date? Your nephew on the first date. That shows to me that like you really care about your family, that you weren't like, nah, I'm not watching him. I got a hot date tonight. Like, find somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that shows how giving you are. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like those qualities are the ones that last, so that when there is a quarantine, when we're all stuck at home, like you're with someone that you like. So
yeah.
We would listen. We was having the world was burning, but we, but we don't want to make light of COVID.
Yeah, definitely not.
I will tell you, the city shut down. Kenny was sick. So I did an event, let's say it was the weekend of his birthday. I did an event, let's say that Wednesday, the city shut down. It was his birthday and then he was sick. But like, so it was the very beginning. And he was like, not like on a scale of 1 to 10, he was a 9. It was just to the point where we were doing like the virtual. The only thing we could do was a virtual consultation with the doctor, and we couldn't get an appointment because everybody was inundated. And they were like, "Can he breathe?" And I was like, "He can breathe, but this is the sickest I've ever seen a human being. I'm here by myself because nobody can come over, nobody can do anything." And they were like, "There's nothing we could do for you.
Wow,
Breathe, can't go in the hospital. Hospitals were inundated." And it was scary. So coming out of that, you know, it was like, you know, we're not definitely trying to make light of it, but it was like from that point, we tried to see the silver lining of the whole situation, because it's like we made it out of this situation. It was, you know, we live in close quarters, so it was a miracle I didn't get sick at all. Well, I did get COVID, but I guess I was completely asymptomatic because I did test later and I had it, and then we got it again, and then he got sick again and I didn't get sick. So it's just such a weird thing. But you know, definitely not trying to, but to Kenny's point, at that point we were trying to see the silver lining of the situation, right? Like, not the, you know, we're home, oh my God, business is slow, da da da. It's like trying to stay positive. And I think that helped us in a lot of ways, because things did pick up, and you know, we pivoted, and I was able to get my clients online, and he still had jobs going on. You know, we're both, you know, it's not like anyone was, you know, going to take care, you know, pay us while we were, you know, because we don't have traditional jobs. We both own our own businesses. So we almost had to see the positive in it, that we have time together, we have time to reset, we have time to take a step back, but we can also rethink about how we provide a business so we can stay in business. And you know, that's what I just want to clarify. That's what we were saying when we, you know, we had a good time. Or I was like, you know, we're gonna still sneak in this vacation, we're still gonna, you know, do things and live life, because we had to, because it was like literally I could have lost him that first 2 weeks, and it would have been nothing. He was sick for 3 weeks. So it was 3 weeks of me in the house alone. I mean, we, you know, we do have family nearby. So the funniest story is my father, he wouldn't take medicine one day, and I was like, "I'm gonna call your father." That was so, and I would never do that. I never involve, you know. But he must have been really sick. He was sick, and I was like at my wit's end, and his father came with a bottle of alcohol and
They did that in the Bible. They did that in the Bible.
Standing there like, why did I call this man? I'm like, you know, you could just stand at the door and convince him to take this, because I was trying to give him, I don't know, some cough medicine. That's all we had access to. And he was like, "I want to see my son." And then he
bust the door down.
Bottle of alcohol. What'd you say?
Get everything out.
I'm still trying to figure out how he got that. Alcohol was hard to get. That's how you get alcohol. He had to connect.
Wow.
He had to alcohol connect.
Wow.
And I'm just standing there by the bed, and he's anointing him with the alcohol. I was like, oh my God. But anyway, so that scene, you know, and I think thinking back, like just having that positive outlook the silver lining outlook when things are hard. And Kenny is a lot more spiritual than I am, right? So I am spiritual in a way, is like, I believe in God and I go to church sometimes, but he has helped me with that, because you know, he you know, has kind of the framework for it, or the vocabulary for it, that he teaches me sometimes. But he also, what I appreciate is he gives me space to have my own relationship with God, right? It's not like, okay, so I go to this church every Sunday and I go to prayer meetings on Tuesday, and if you don't go, we're getting a divorce. Like, it's not that. It's like, my journey is very different from his journey, and he gives me space to figure those things out, but also creating an environment where it's like, okay, we have to to live in positivity and believe that there's a higher power helping us, and that kind of thing. Hopefully I'm not babbling, but hopefully that makes sense. But that's kind of what kind of living through that the last 2 years, or that reset in the past couple of years have been for us, is that
Right.
I mean, if you thought we played hard before, we play harder now, because we could not literally be here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question, Ken. So when you were really sick with COVID, like I remember we spoke about that, and it was really scary. You were talking about it, and especially it was scary in general at that time because you got that first strand, that first wave that was like really hitting, us really hard.
Nobody knew anything about it.
Right.
Yeah, and I just came back from out of town from South Carolina, so I was really confused because I was like, well, you know what I'm saying? I catch you like you right?
Right.
And everybody's like, where'd you get it from? Like, that's a great question. When you find out, you tell me. Like,
way to know.
Like,
because I could have been in my event, but then I didn't get sick, so nobody knew. You're like, just nobody know. And then it was hard for me because then you have everybody calling me. Well, are you doing this? Are you doing this? Are you making sure that you open the window at 2:00 and then close it at 4:00 and then the heat on and the vapor? And I'm just like, what are these instructions? They're not based on any reality, right? We don't know what this is. We don't know. This is not a treatment. I have no treatment plan. I can't take him to the hospital. There's no vaccine right now. There's no
3 weeks
I'm
is a
basically
long
giving him
time.
cough medicine and praying for the best at this point.
Gave him
Stop
Tessa.
calling me. And then you have people coming and rubbing him down in alcohol, and it was madness. It really was.
but Ken, when you were sick, when you were that sick, and to see your wife like care for you in the way she did, obviously again there were questions surrounding it, and her just being in the same room, breathing the same air as you, could have took her out. You know what I mean? And but so to see your wife take care of you in that way, the selflessness of it, like did it do something for you? Did you see something that maybe you didn't see before? I mean, I know you guys were together for a long time and you assume she loved you very much, but I would imagine, because when the chips are really down and you're up against it, and someone steps up like that, that's close to you, maybe it opens your eyes to something. Could you just talk about how you felt about her taking care of you and all of that?
No, because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. She's always been like that because it's times when I was unemployed trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You in your 20s, and then there's a thing called, it's a thing called pride, it's a thing called egos. It's a lot of things, right? You still, and then obviously your walk with God, you know what I'm saying? And you try, like I said, you try to figure it out. And she never, she never looked down. She went to college, she got a good job, you know what I'm saying? And there was never a time, which, if I didn't have, she didn't step in. You know what I'm saying? There was no,
and vice versa.
There was no, there was no, there's couples that look down, right? Like, oh, or they'll compare, like, oh, I'm making more money, or you making more money, or you're unemployed, right? Or you're disabled, and I'm the one that's, you know what I'm saying? I never experienced that. And then even through all the arguments, right? All the arguments you go through with your spouse, disagreements, there was never something was just like, I'm better than you. You understand what I'm saying? It was just like, no, like we're one, right? So you know what I'm saying? And to give me space to figure it out, and time and patience to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And we always had our back like that. So when she did that, if she didn't do that, there would have been a problem. I'm like, yo, hold on, like you got
right.
Because I remember back, like, hold on, I remember, you know what I'm saying? I got COVID, but I remember, like,
right.
Listen, I remember being so broke. I'm walking around 42nd Street, a limo just picked. We could have got kidnapped. The limo just picked me and a bunch of group.
Still so mad about that story.
I was like, well, I guess y'all picking up all. I know off the sub. I said, I know. I guess y'all picking up all the unemployed people.
In a limo.
Ain't nobody had no job, and they was like, y'all want to go to Ricky Lake show? I said, well, we was like, well, we ain't working, so I guess.
Wow, a limo popped up, and it was for Ricky Lake.
I'm not even exaggerating.
That's
Listen,
crazy.
they took us to Mexico. Nobody would know about it.
And you got in the limo.
And nobody had a job. Nobody had a job. Wow. And they was like, jumping, you know, this is 42nd Street, 2001. You know what I'm saying? 2002, right? Yeah. and we were all, it was crazy. All of us was unemployed. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, people just talking about, you know, like what they doing in the street, you know, just killing time. Ain't nobody was going for no interview, neither, just walking around. And I was just one of them, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to figure things out, you know. And I was like, well, shoot, I got nothing but time. I go to Ricky Lake show. I never, you know what I'm saying? But my comfort was, I knew when I came back home, you know what I'm saying? I had a support system, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was I know a lot of them had no support system. They didn't even want to leave the studio, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
You know, so you know, story for days of like, you know, not taking, you know, none of that for granted. Like I remember, you know, like. But a lot of people deal with that, you know, have that pressure, you know, you know, or you're not a man because you're not taking care of me financially all the time, right? You know, or you're not a woman because, you know, you're not cooking, cleaning,
and I don't
having a million, right? Having a million babies,
right?
That's another fib too, because that's all. But it's the fact that like. You see somebody's weakness or something that they're not strong at, or they probably not comfortable at. You step in, right?
Right.
Yeah. And like, yes, know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, sometimes our friends be like, oh, you don't cook? You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, hold on, let me stop you there. Cause I'll cook all of y'all on the other line. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
You know, because I'm a man, on me, I can't, right? Or vice versa, you know?
Wow,
but let me want to hear something funny. She'll pull up some cabinets in the heartbeat. Don't ask me to put no cabinets up. My father was like, who put the cabinets up? I said, your daughter-in-law put them. I ain't put the cabinets up. Putting legs on the entertainment center. I don't do none of that.
I'm head of maintenance.
Listen, we did a lot of
that.
We did a lot of furniture.
Yes, we did.
Don't ask me. Listen. Best I could do. I twist the light bulb. Don't ask me to spackle or nothing like that. When she get down and dirty, she was an art major, so I guess you know it came in handy. I don't know, but I just remember I came in one day. I was like, "Who put these cabinets? You hired somebody?" She's like, "No." And them things are still up to this day. So listen, right? So to put different, right? To put different expectations on somebody because you're male or female, and people do that all the time, and it's not right. You know what I'm saying? So,
but also, so when before I started my business, I was laid off from my job, and it was. I was working on my business without even realizing like I was working on a business. I was just like kind of doing things to pass time and to make things more interesting for me. So my job was insurance and risk adjustment, and it is as boring as it sounds, but it was a good job. And we worked from home before working from home was a thing, right?
Okay,
like I worked from home even way before, so I started my business a little over 12 years ago at this point. So way before it was like a part of regular culture in my job, it was you work from home 3 to 4 days a week and you came in like maybe 1 day a week, if that, and in the wintertime less than that. So it was a good job. It was a good high paying job. And I was laid off, and I was like, I really want to start event planning. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do a style shoot on the beach. And Kenny was like, okay, and he went, got the van. It was him. He was my crew for the day.
Wow.
Whatever nonsense. And he didn't fully understand what it was that I was doing. He's like, you're going to Far Rockaway and you're going to spend hundreds of dollars to rent furniture to take pictures. And he didn't get it. Like he didn't even have the whole now he gets it because we work together and I've been doing this for a long time. But at the time it was something like, it was almost like I had woke up one day and was like, let's do a photo shoot in Far Rockaway Beach, and I'm gonna spend $200 and rent furniture, and no one's gonna help me but you, so you have to come. And okay, and did it. And I had gotten in between that, I had gotten like formal job offers for again paying jobs. And I was like, no, I really want to do the event planning. And he could have been like, nah, you need to go back to work, right? And do that on the side.
Wow.
And he was like, no, let's just do it. Like, this is the time. Just get it done. And don't look back. Don't look back.
I have to say, I cannot imagine you in insurance. Like, knowing how creative you are, I just don't like, it's like, that does not make sense. Like, you being
I was
in
marketing
insurance.
and insurance, and it was
That's
that was the.
crazy.
I mean, I've had a ton of different jobs in different fields in private, corporate, government, but that was my last job, and the longest jobs I had were in insurance because they are good jobs, right? They're high-paying jobs, a lot of more flexibility than regular corporate jobs. A lot of vacation, you get to work from home. So on paper, it looked like a good job. And if I had a different partner, they were like, you better go back and get that job.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, and not knowing, right? Like, when I had no clients, I had no database I had no social media, I had no marketing or anything. He was like, no, this is what you're doing. Just do it. Like, if you want to go back, that's on you, but you're not going to feel any pressure from me to do it.
Because it was a lot of pressure and confusion with the family members. Family members like, what? I don't understand, And to this day, still don't understand, which is whatever. The weirdest thing. It's like, how long do I have to do this for? If I don't work, I know what I'm doing.
Doesn't know what I'm doing.
If I don't work, I don't eat. I figured it out. I made it. My mom, if I told my mother I'm running for president, she'd be like, go ahead, baby. Like, what? You mean hand out some pamphlets? You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of phone calls like that. Like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And what was funny is, I think one of the last jobs that happened, we were on vacation going to Disney.
Oh, it was another insurance job with the same boss, by the way. So she had brought me onto another company, but I got laid off at another. So I'm not going to say the company's names, but I got laid off at an insurance company working for the same boss, and we had all got laid off. So the whole department, half the office got laid off. The New York office got laid off, and we were going on vacation, and we literally just landed, and they had timed the meeting for when we landed because they had to do it at that time. And I was just like, can't this wait till I get back? But what happened at the time, they don't have the Magical Express anymore, but there was this bus that would take you from the Disney airport to Disney World, and they called it the Magical Express. So they had timed the meeting so I could land and get on this call, and it had to be at this time. I guess legally they had to lay everybody off at the same time or whatever, and they couldn't wait to get back. So we're on the Magical Express, and there's like
we was about to step on the bus because she was on the
yeah.
So I'm getting on the bus with my bag. I'm like, "Ooh, we going on vacation," and then she's like, I think I'm getting fired.
Oh my
God! Listen, we got to live in Disney World. We got this job in Disney World. You can be making Minnie, I'll be Mickey. You don't think it out.
And I got laid off 5 minutes into the vacation, and
oh my gosh, some people would have been like, "We got to cancel this and go back."
We were just like, and that's again because it was like, we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
That's how Kenny is. Like I remember being on because when I was younger, I would ask Kenny to be on like the moving jobs with him, right? Like, so Kenny would do a moving job.
They're my favorite stories, Christian.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we would go into situations, and I'd be like, yo, this person has like the Taj Mahal in their house. Like, they have 2 minutes. Like, how are we gonna fit this into a truck? Like, how this can't be done. You know what I mean? But Kenny would be as cool as a cucumber. He'd be like, "No, it's gonna fit. No, it's gonna fit." You know what I'm saying? or like situations will just come up, and I just be like, "Man, like, how is this gonna work out?" But Kenny will always be like very calm. He knew how it was gonna work out somehow, some way. You know what I mean? Or situations where, because Kenny's also into music production, and Kenny would have his eye on a space downtown, man, prime You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, how you going to,
Most expensive zip codes.
yes, I'd be like, how you going
And they don't do no background check on him. They don't ask him for his social. They just be like, all right, give him the
this
keys.
man. So the story that you told tonight about a limousine rolling up
Ricky Lake
and took you to look like, I am not surprised at all. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly something that would happen to Kenny. Like, I'm saying, it just, he's like a magnet to like famous people.
Here we go.
And all kinds of things. It's like, he's like the mystery man. Like, he's just like,
mystery man.
no, but really.
Really, Jackie.
Right?
Like,
am I lying? Like,
no. And when he opened that studio, I was very supportive. But again, I was like, all right, these are expensive zip codes. What's the record look like? And and when I tell you, he'd be like, oh, I'll figure it out. And he'll go meet with the people. And I'm like, okay, well, what kind of paperwork? They don't ask him for no paperwork. They don't make him feel, they don't have his, they barely have his home address. They don't do a credit thing. They don't do a background check. They don't.
Wow.
I'm like, did you give them their social? He's like, no, they just get, and they'll give him the keys.
That is some serious negotiating skills.
Yeah.
Like,
who know? I don't know. I still to this day.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think like in life in general, people have to like you. No matter like who you are, how much you right, the money it's just subjective. Like people have to genuinely like you, and then they put I guess their guards come down. And they're like, you're my friend. You're right. I want to do this for you. I want to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times,
and you be trustworthy. Like he does. He's a trustworthy person.
Have the integrity.
So he has that for what years and never missed.
And too, as us as people, you go into these situations and they already have you written out as somebody, right? They're already like, I know what you are. It's funny a lot of times, not a lot, most of the times. Hey, so what kind of hip hop do you do? Hold on. I like hip hop. I grew up on hip hop. I watched Beer Music Box back in the day, my ratchet life. You understand what I'm saying? But why I gotta do hip hop? Because I'm black, right? I could be a composer. I could be jazz. So when I used to say, hey, no, I do gospel. Me and my friends, we do gospel. Oh, wow. Right? It changed the outlook, and you know what I'm saying? And then maybe they could tell somebody else, like, hey, like, I just met this black guy. Pretty different. You understand what I'm saying? His pants wasn't down to his knees. You know what I'm saying? He didn't smell like, yeah, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, and because sometimes they'll be like, hey, no smoking. I'm like, I don't smoke. Yes. Yeah, these different things that you just put this over your head, right? When you walk into a situation, and then when you change their outlook about things, like, oh wow, okay, sorry, right?
You can't put us all in. We're not a monolith. You can't.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong if he was a hip hop producer, but why is that the default? He could have been, rock. He could have been punk. He could have been, like you said, we could score TV shows. He could score movies. You have no idea, and just coming into just meeting someone and just like, okay, you have this list of things you think they are. It's not. And I think he throws people off, and then almost Jedi mind tricks them to give him stuff. But
their guard comes down.
We're not who you thought you are. And then he's like, kind of just like, he has a rough voice from Brooklyn. He's a guy's guy. And he's like, yeah, we just did Disney for 2 weeks. And I'm like, what?
They don't have enough time. It's not enough time on Zoom for that.
Oh man, this has been a great conversation, and just as we've been talking, like I said, like Kenny and Marissa, like to like the talents that you guys have, your ability. To me, it's very clear you guys belong together, like and it had been for a long time. But just I wish we had enough time to you guys just tell stories just about your life and business and different things that you're seeing. Because I'm telling you, Kenny is I keep talking about Kenny like because I know him very well. Yo, he has so many crazy stories, right? Like I can name brand celebrities worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's been in their house and he's seen how they live, and he said and how he gets there and stuff like that. we got to do something with them. Like I don't know, Kenny, like you need to do a podcast where you tell these stories about having met these people and the things that you've seen, because the stories that Kenny has told me over the years, it's just mind blowing. And and Misa, she's always, every time that I've been in her presence, always very excellent, always very creative. Her mind's just going 1,000 miles. Like she could put things together. She's looking at this and said, "Oh, why don't you do this and this and that? And like, if you put these two things together, yeah, it'll work." I'm like, oh man, like these guys are like a dynamic duo, right? And so I know there's so much more that we could talk about, but I think we're done. I think we're done for tonight, unless you have something else.
No, I would just love listening to you guys' stories. And yeah, just like the way that you guys complement each other. I feel like this was not just Marriage Monday, but y'all gave lessons in business, like just everything.
Partnership.
Yeah, and I feel like it's so good. And it's so good to see you guys, the way that you complement each other, the way that you support each other, and how it's like there's going to be wins and losses. And I feel like that's what marriage is like. There's going to be wins and there's going to be losses. Sometimes you got to stick out the losses, be committed to each other so that you can really celebrate those wins together. So I feel like, yeah, that's what I'm getting. That's what I got from tonight.
And to add on what you said, Jackie, because I had got, a lot of backlash, because obviously, we've been together a long time. So obviously people can see this is not overnight, right? And and we're constantly growing, developing. But when we just say, okay, we engaged, well, it's about time. You understand what I'm saying? And but we've been through a whole lot. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of growth, ups and downs, heartaches and pains, joy, right? You name it, right? So and figuring things out. But I think, to truly love somebody is to be patient and don't put your own timestamp on things, right? Because you gotta look in the mirror and be like, well, shoot, what if God put a timestamp on me?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of people put these that's the word, the expectations, right? And it's just like, yo, who are you to have expectations? You understand what I'm saying? Like you got this time, you think it's supposed to happen this way, and it never does happen right the way, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I think a marriage is true patience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And happiness doesn't lie in, oh, I want to do what I want to do. It's going to make me happy. I don't care how the other person feels, right? And this is an ongoing thing that you have to grow towards. But it's okay. All right, I see. My bad. I see how that made you feel, right? You know what I'm saying? You may not say it that day, but hopefully you say it the next day, right? You may like, then you be like, yo, oh shoot, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's not about, like, your joy is supposed to is about making that person happy, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa, And and like I said, Christian, it was things like a perfect example. I know we gotta go, but
no, go.
Speaking of Disney World, I know, full circle, right? We met in the theme park, right? And guess what we do all the time, right? We loved it. So I was just, I'm just like, wow, go figure, right? So, but one thing that she did, and I, I had a job. Maybe I was doing like a temp agency or something like that, right? So, just making ends meet. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know which job she was at, but company she was at that time. But she was like, I think she asked me what I want to do for my birthday. I think I was scatterbrained. I was just like, whatever, right? And she was like, I'll take you to Disney World. We should go to Disney World. I'm like, what? We got to a huge argument about Mickey and Minnie. You know what I'm saying? And this is a good example of our growth, right? And it's funny enough because you watch the Super Bowl and with Shaq or the NBA, and they always like, where are we going? Disney World, right? And I'm fighting her. She want to take me, but she sacrificed and like, yo, I want you to experience this. You never experienced this before. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to do this. We should go, right? And hooping and hollering. Then I'm like,
what I look like going to Disney
World? What I look like, Disney World for kids. And then, so we get there, It must have been like day one or it probably was like day one. All I can remember is I got Mickey ears on running around in pixie dust in Magic Kingdom. I'm like, it's the greatest thing in the world. Oh my God. And now I'm resenting my mother and my father, like, why you ain't never take me? That's why I've been missing my childhood. That's why I'm scarred to this day. All the kids, everybody been Disney World except me. I'm like, holy, but
Oh my
I didn't know that
gosh.
was in me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got into a bad
Wow.
argument. You know, and I went and I was just like, what? And it opened and
And I was
ignited.
like, we're going anyway.
And it opened and ignited something I never knew I had.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So when I tell people the experience, you know what I'm saying? You know, it kind of blows their mind because I'm like, yo, I know you think, you know what I'm saying? But you know, but I'm like, listen, you in the creative space. I'm telling you, you need to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody be like, oh, I like Avatar. My boy was telling me the other day, I'm like, bro, you know they have an Avatar land, right? It's like you in Avatar. You go
now you an ambassador for Disney.
That's a whole nother conversation. Right. But that was something that like I'll never forget because like if she say if that never happened, it was a different situation. I don't know if I've been the person I am to this day. Wow. Right. Because that one experience of, like I said, giving and being right, like, yo, I know you don't got it's fine. This is what I want to do for you because and change and it helped me with life, helped me with my businesses, you know what I'm saying? All different type of things.
Customer service and how to put things together.
That's on the next level there, yeah.
Not saying I probably would, obviously I was seeing enough commercials one day and be like, yo, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna look up, you know, I'm gonna go to Disney World myself, you know, but the fact that she like opened and it just opened something, because I'm telling you, it was a bad argument. I'm like, you big dummy. You almost got Disney World trip. Yeah, you know.
I love that.
And,
you have Mickey Mouse ears on.
Yeah, no, and that's not even an exaggeration. It's a picture somewhere. Y'all need to see that. You know? That's what I have on my head too. You know, just to add on, you know, so what Jackie was saying, but yeah. So, and I just tell it shouldn't be, you know. At the end of it all, whatever, you know, you're going through, you know, whether your back is against the wall financially, you're going through things, you know, emotionally, you know what I'm saying? It's communication problems. At the end of the day, there should be something that's just like, there's no other option, right? And that's people make all these other options. That's why they just be bouncing there. Well, I got somebody in my back. They go through, you know, and everybody has a different story. And people go through craziness, right? And you know, and they get through it, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, at the end of the tunnel, right? Who you want to go through that with? You understand what I'm saying? And know that, like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna work through this, you know?
Yeah.
You know, just like you had like a child, you grow up, you can grow, do the best you can, give them all the things, and then they act like you don't even exist. What are you gonna do? Just leave, right? That's still gonna be your child, you know. And I think, you know, more people should treat marriage that way, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your wife at the end of the day, yo. That's your husband. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, get over yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Like, push that ego, pride, and all that stuff to the side, and you getting all in your feelings, and you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes time, right? Time heals wounds, but at the end of the day, that person is gonna be your last destination. So, so cut it out. You know what I'm saying? You know, and really grow with that person. You know, and like I was saying, like, and just have patience. Just have patience.
Just no timelines, right? Like there's definitely you'll goal plan as a couple. There'll be things, but there's no like checklist of like, and then definitely don't let other people's expectations dictate how you run your relationship and marriage. That's all I would do.
And you guys should have one with interviewing you, because I mean you guys
I would love
you
to
guys are real modest right now.
You really
real modest.
Your army of kids in there, how you manage that?
Listen, I don't have a YouTube page. You understand what I'm saying? So I got no friends. So y'all a whole mini series. Yeah. Yeah, literally. So
yeah.
Yeah, no, to God be the glory. He gives us the grace to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Yeah, and it's like we have a similar story as well. Like I come with all kind of crazy ideas. Jackie just be like,
both super talented, creative. Listen,
yes.
Brooklyn Harlem, come on.
I said Diddy and Biggie. Diddy and Biggie.
Oh man.
But anyway, it's been a wonderful time. I don't know if we laughed more on any other episode of my God. Oh my gosh, it was just laughing.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at some more episodes then.
Yeah.
Please.
He said, I'm gonna test this out.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes,
thank
this
you
was
for coming.
so good.
We always end off though with a prayer, and we usually let the guests end the prayer. So Kenny, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
No problem, yeah.
Yeah. Close us out in prayer. But guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm sure it'll be a blessing to all those people who watch it. So thanks, Ken. And Misa.
Thank you, guys.
Go ahead and close us. do the honors, Ken.
So Lord, I just thank you.
Yes.
But just this opportunity and then this outlet that you have my brother and sister doing, and that this can just help so many couples, because there's a lot of people going through it. That they within, and they don't know, who to look to, who to get advice from. So we ask that, do this, this is just give them a couple of jewels, a couple of diamonds, they could take from it, and apply it to their life. And I just thank you for them to even make stuff like this, because it's not too many things I see us like this out there, to help couples, and to give them good advice and good guidance, and to see at the end of the day, to see who to put first and who to look for. And then every day isn't perfect, but as long as we keep striving for what you have with marriages, you know what I'm saying, we should be okay. So I just actually just to bless, Jackie and Christian's show, and for it to keep growing, because like I said, we need this. So many people look at marriage as like a ball and chain or like a job, and it shouldn't be, because you said marriage is a beautiful thing. So we just ask you to bless this night like you already have, and to keep blessing them and to keep moving their business forward on YouTube and all these other outlets that I need to keep track of. TikTok, that's a whole nother story. We thank you for tonight. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
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 And as my father-in-law would say, good luck with y'all marriages.
That's what we said. I went.
That's what I said. Everybody said, and good luck with y'all marriages.
Oh man, God bless you guys. Take care. All of you guys who tuned in and watched it, God bless you. Please share and like it with anybody who you feel like this is going to help. And I think it'll help a bunch of people, because they dropped a lot of jewels in this thing. So God bless you guys. Until the next time, take care.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.